The council right now has several buildings in the county that is already paid for, have electric and water running to them. And not only that, there's some businesses, since we've come into these tight economic times, that we can utilize in those areas to do some substations, to have more visibility, have better response time to get to these rural areas. We need to take advantage of the resources that we have now without driving up costs to the taxpayers. And we can do that. It's just a matter of going out, speaking with people, sitting down at the table, and making some good, sound decisions without having to raise taxes. And I'm going to keep harping on taxes because it can easily cost a lot to do a lot, but you have to be thought-provoking and creative. And under my administration, I can assure you that I will look at every angle and take the best solution that's going to best fit the citizens of Kershaw County. Thank you.
Jim Matthews. As I went around Kershaw County prior to the primary election, I spent a lot of time up in the area that is of concern. And I talked with the residents, I talked with the business owners. They have a beef. They get no law enforcement protection. Very frequently, it takes an officer from Lugoff, Elgin, 30 minutes to respond to a call up in Cassidy, Bethune, even longer out in Mount Pisgah and the Buffalo area. I intend to restructure within the Sheriff's Department and utilize those people who are not actively working and who are not earning their paychecks and get them on the road. I have promised the people in that part of the county that I will assign 2 deputies full-time in that area. We can do that with the existing personnel. Now, I must state that this county, over the years, has fallen way behind in the staffing at the Sheriff's Department. We have half as many deputies patrolling the county as they do in Lancaster County. It's taken years to get that way, and it will take time for us to get back. I cannot raise taxes 1 single penny, but I can let county council know where there are deficiencies, and I intend to do that. I also intend to go after grants. We all pay federal and state taxes. There is federal and state money out there that we can get back into the county. I will think out of the box, and I will bring that money into the county to hire special teams that will free up the responsibilities of the other deputies. That is a must, and I will do that. There are other issues. There are other ways of getting money. I might just add this, that we can form a 501c3 corporation for a Kershaw County Sheriff's Foundation. We've already made inroads into a law firm that says they will do it pro bono. My wife and I have agreed to donate the first $500 to that, and this law firm has agreed to match that. This will help us fund some of the programs that we need for our officers, as well as provide them with equipment that they need to do their jobs. Right now, they have to provide a lot of their own equipment, which I think is grossly unfair and, quite frankly, negligent. Thank you.
How would you use technology in your role as sheriff, and what type of innovation or new programs would you bring to the department, and how would you pay for them? We will begin with Jim Matthews. Yes, you can stay at the podium.
Jim Matthews. Technology is expensive. As Mr. Tucker has said, we are on a very limited budget. We are far behind the curve. I know a lot of sheriffs and other agents in other counties, and when I look at what they have and what we have, it is unbelievable how far behind the curve we are. I have talked to Leon a lot about utilizing some of his DNA evidence gathering techniques, and he has offered me the use of his lab if I become sheriff of Kershaw County. I've also talked to people out at SLED, and I have told them that I will use and abuse them and their assets as much as we can. I will work with other agencies like has never been done before in this county. SLED has a lot of assets. They are an agency that assists law enforcement. I will call them in to help us on major crime scenes. There's also a program for internet predators that you can cooperate with other law enforcement agencies who have a skill at that type of a crime investigations that we currently do not have. So we will use and partner the resources of other agencies. As budgets allow, we will incorporate technology into our Sheriff's Department. I'll tell you this, and you may not know this, the Sheriff's Department radio system is not compatible with any other emergency services system in Kershaw County. That is wrong. cars don't have cameras in them. The cars don't have radar in them. We are way behind the curve. And I will use grants, and there are free, Department of Public Safety will give us cameras for patrol cars at no cost. Why we don't have them, why we don't utilize them, I don't know. It's for the safety of the officer, it's for the safety of the public, and it's for gathering evidence. I will go after every asset that we can go after. I will think outside the box, and we will bring resources, technical resources into the Sheriff's Department as our budgets allow. Thank you.
Sammy Tucker. Well, we are antiquated. No fingers to point. That's just where we are. We need to get laptops in these patrol cars, so when we're patrolling these rural areas that we just finished talking about, that we can do reports and don't have to run from Mount Pisgah back over to Lugoff to take our reports, or to the 911 office at the government center. What I plan to do as your sheriff is to go in January and zero out the budget, because I'm sure there's programs that either they're not working or it's not a program that we need, and we'll find the monies by starting out with a zero balance and doing the things that we need to do, and then planning on buying computers and other technical equipment with the monies that we save. Laptops needs to come as quick as possible, and also cameras, because cameras is an officer safety thing. It's also a court evidence collector. It is the watch eye for the citizens to make sure you're not mistreated. I believe in them, I believe in technology, and I will do everything underneath my power to make sure that we ramp it up, this process, as quickly as possible, at least expense to the taxpayers as possible. And that's going to also be able, we have to go before county council and set out a 3-year plan. We want to be able to get so many at this point, this year budget cycle, and so many the next. And eventually you'll have everything done. Thank you.
Current state law in South Carolina states that in order to operate a moped on the public highways and streets of this state, a person must possess a valid driver's license or a valid moped operator's license, except those whose driver's license has been suspended for a period of 6 months or less, in which case they are not required to have either a valid driver's license or moped operator's license during the period of suspension. Many states require a valid driver's license or specialized motorcycle license regardless, and many also require insurance. Current research of South Carolina state law also shows that insurance is not required for a moped operator, but is encouraged. This means, should they be responsible in causing an accident with other motor vehicles, the liability would fall to those other drivers. Mopeds are becoming more and more prevalent on our public highways, and with recent tragedies in Powdersville and Kershaw County, do you believe it is right to allow someone who has had their driver's license suspended to operate any type of motorized vehicle on our public roads? Would you be an advocate to have the state law changed? We will begin with Mr. Tucker.
Thank you. Sammy Tucker. I'm an advocate in reference to the moped license for heavier restrictions. I think there ought to be a time, just as teenage drivers, which I'm a driver instructor as well, that you cannot operate those mopeds a certain hour during the nighttime, because they are harder to see. I would like to see some insurance requirement put onto moped operators. I'm not sure about the license part, because some people sometimes make mistakes. First offenders chose and made a bad mistake by operating a motor vehicle, got their license suspended, and now they're trying to do the right thing, going through the ASAP, and trying to make a living. I'm not an advocate for stopping a man or a woman from making an honest living. So there's some restrictions I'd like to see to answer the question. I don't want to see them do away with it completely, but I think we can do a better job through our legislation over the General Assembly. Thank you.
Jim Matthews. I think back in the day, mopeds were kind of in the same boat as bicycles, and that might have been why there was no insurance requirement. However, the mopeds today go a little faster than the bicycles do, and it's been my experience that a lot of the moped drivers are guys who lost their licenses due to DUI or a lot of bad driving. So it might be called for to have a little more strict guidelines for them. Again, these people are trying to maybe do a job, earn a living, and we don't want to keep them from doing that. But certainly, there are traffic laws that we should be enforcing, as do the Highway Patrol in the City of Camden, should be enforced in the moped riders. Bicyclists get away with a lot of stuff on the roads. Moped riders should not get away with that because they do go faster. They can cause more accidents, and they're more of them actually on the busier roads because they can operate more quickly. It's not my job to set that law, but it would be my job to enforce it. And I would certainly be an advocate if we see more and more problems with it to talk to some of our lawmakers to see if we can tighten up that law some. Thank you.
Kershaw County has made the top 10 in an undesirable category, death due to DUI. What will you have the Kershaw County Sheriff's Office do under your direction to decrease the carnage on our roads? And in particular, describe your innovations and will you support and the innovations you will support and or employ? And one more part of that question. What changes in state law would you publicly endorse and why?
Jim Matthews. DUI fatalities is a passion of mine. Kershaw County has the third highest DUI fatality rate in South Carolina. South Carolina has one of the top DUI fatality rates in the nation. So that makes the DUI rate in Kershaw County one of the top DUI fatality rates per capita in the whole United States. There are 3 state troopers patrolling Lee and Kershaw counties. That's not enough. For the most part, Kershaw County Sheriff's Department does not do traffic enforcement. If they stop somebody who's bad DUI, they will call the Highway Patrol, let the Highway Patrol work the case. I will have a traffic unit. They will concentrate on DUI and reckless driving, and we will have officers trained in DUI breathalyzer operations. I'll also work with the South Carolina Highway Patrol. They have special units throughout the state. If a sheriff invites them in, they will come in and they will saturate an area that has high DUI accident and fatality rates. I will use them as much as possible. We have got to get that rate down. We had 73 people killed in Kershaw County in a previous 5-year period. During that same time, we had 1 person killed in gangs. If you reverse those statistics and you had 73 people killed by gangs, we'd have the National Guard in here. So we have got to take DUI enforcement more seriously. The lawmakers, made up primarily of attorneys, have enacted very weak DUI laws. I will work with MAD and any other agent or organization that promotes a stricter, a more effective DUI law in the future. We desperately need to do that. There are too many DUI cases on our docket right now, some of which are 10 years old, that have not been settled. That is wrong. I will work with the solicitor's office, the courts, whoever it takes. I'll use the bully pulpit of the Sheriff's Department to push these cases through. They have got to be adjudicated. Thank you.